Dan Willis here, and we're talking about how to remove a public record from your credit report. Now, this is most effective if we use more of your rights as a consumer, and specifically those granted by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. This federal legislation gives us the ability to dispute and challenge any item on our credit report so long as we believe it's inaccurate, misleading, or made in error. Now, there have been amendments made to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. On a sidebar, you can now dispute a data furnisher directly. On a side, the data furnisher is the company that's actually reporting that information about your account. It's a lender, it's a creditor, and potentially in this case it could even be a courthouse. It's the data furnisher on a sidebar. Traditionally, and for our purposes here, we're going to talk about the credit bureau dispute process, actually disputing this item with the credit bureaus, three major: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And there's three ways to file your credit report dispute. You can do it online, over the phone, or by mail. Once the credit bureaus get your dispute, they first get to deem it valid or frivolous. Only on valid disputes are they required to investigate the item, and they'll call it a reinvestigation. Nevertheless, they'll contact that data furnisher and they'll request verification of the item, and this is the public record that we're disputing. If the item is verified, then it'll remain on your credit report, and potentially it can have information updated or made accurate. The more common result is the item won't be verified, and if this happens in accordance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, this means the credit bureaus must remove that item, remove that public record from your credit report. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Now, there's two big challenges. The first is actually that public record debt. It'll really improve your odds of removing that item if we go ahead and address that public record debt. And the reason is because it removes any incentive for any business to actually verify the item. Because for business XYZ to verify your item when the credit bureaus investigate, that's only an expense for them. And if that debt's been paid, there's nothing left for a creditor, a lender, even a debt collector to get out of that account. And as such, it'll improve your odds that they won't verify it when the credit bureaus investigate it. And in other words, it removes anything for them to gain out of that account or out of verifying it. In addition to that, on July 1st, 2017, all three of the credit bureaus agreed and implemented new data standard requirements concerning public records. In short, they're requiring a modicum of information which most public records don't contain. Essentially, this gives you much better odds than any day in the past of actually removing the public records regardless of any of these details about payment. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Now, the other big monumental challenge, and where most people just give up and go away and live with bad credit, is getting the credit bureaus to deem your dispute valid and subsequently investigate the item. Chances are they're going to deem it frivolous, and they're going to respond by requesting more information. The reason they do this is because for the credit bureaus to investigate an error on my credit report, a public record on your credit report, or on Joe's credit report, it's only an expense. It's only a cost of doing business. And that's why Congress passed the Fair Credit Reporting Act way back in 1970 that requires the credit bureaus to do this. In other words, the credit bureaus get nothing, absolutely nothing, out of correcting your credit report or investigating a dispute. Just as a few examples of evidence of this, in 2015, all three of the credit bureaus agreed to settle and paid $6 million to 31 state attorney generals for violating the Fair Credit Reporting Act. 60 Minutes in recent years did a story sharing just how darn near impossible it is for the average consumer to remove even the most obvious of errors from their credit reports. The Federal Trade Commission and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, both government bodies, have both repeatedly fined all three of the credit bureaus over and over and over again for violating consumer rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. One of the best stories was 2013. Julie Miller woke up one day and discovered 38 bogus collection accounts on her credit reports. She did exactly what the Fair Credit Reporting Act says she's supposed to. She filed her disputes, and over 2 years later, Equifax was still telling Julie that her dispute was frivolous. She subsequently sued them and was awarded over $18 million, which was later reduced to $1.8 million. But this is just an example of just how challenging these credit bureaus are to work with, even removing the most obvious of errors from your credit report. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Now listen, at the end of the day, every single last one of these alphabet soup laws have been passed to protect you the consumer. It's not passed to protect the credit bureaus. It's not passed to protect the debt collectors. It's not passed to protect your credit card company. It's passed to protect you, the consumer. These politricksters out here are doing this for you, the consumer. And when it's all said and done, your credit score is a lot like your grade point average in glory school days past. Those dings on your credit report are just like having an F in gym class. It's going to ruin your overall GPA. And the same principle applies to your credit score. For this reason and many others, we encourage our members to consider professional, legal, and legitimate credit repair companies to help with this. Because in 2016 alone, over 9 million negative items were removed from consumer credit reports. One of the best firms is the Credit Pros, because they've helped their clients remove late payments, charge-offs, judgments, collections, repossessions, foreclosures, even bankruptcy items from their clients' credit reports. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Again, that's for a free credit consultation, and the toll-free phone number is 1-877-418-7596. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article on our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. And of course, subscribe and join our congregation. Have a wonderful day, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.